Previously on The Devil on G-string. So, did you find any clues?
手がかりというほどでもありませんが。
What did you find then?
写真です。
A photograph?
犯人から送られてきた写真です。
Oh, right. The one sent back with the hair. I'd only paid attention to the hair at the time.
昨日、椿の家にお邪魔して、もう一度詳しく見せてもらったんです。
What was it a picture of? Well, I guess it'd be a picture of Hiroki. Usami nodded.
問題は、ひろあきくんの居場所です。
What do you think Mao's motive is for kidnapping Tsubaki's brother?
動機ですか?
You know that the goal of the kidnapper wasn't money, right?
今一つ、魔王の心境が理解できない部分が多いんですがね、浅井さん。
Usami nodded again and said,
ある仮説を立ててみました。
Hypothesis?
魔王の真の目的は、私を陥れることなのではないかと。
Huh? I frowned.
もしくは魔王は、魔王にとって私がどの程度の脅威になりうるかを試してきたんです。
そろそろ警察を頼ろうかと思うんだ。
え？
父さんが間違っていたんだ。最初から警察を頼っておけばこんなことにはならなかった。
It doesn't come as a shock that his train of thought would eventually reach that conclusion.
お父さん、ちょっと待って。
So how did it go?
収穫はゼロです。初日だし、勢いで3軒くらい回ってみようとしましたが、これが大変で。
Yeah.
暗いわ寒いわ怪物は出るわで、気がついたら朝日を拝んでいました。
Monsters? What were you doing?
ガラスとか散乱してますし、いきなり床に大穴が開いてたり、ネズミが運動会してたりと、息をつく暇もなかったですね。
だって、はるちゃんはどうして犯人を捕まえようとしているの？
犯人を捕まえなければ、今後第2第3の誘拐事件が起こるかもしれないぞ。
そういう正義感みたいなもので。
大口叩いておいて、私は身代金を奪われてしまった。責任も感じている。
責任ってそんな、もういいよ。
どうしたんだ椿。私はただ犯人の手からひろあきくんを取り戻したいんだが。気づいたんです。写真にあった書類の文字。
Oh?
あれは英語ではなく、多分ラテン語か何かなんです。詳しくは知りませんが。
Latin, you say?
RP なんですがね。
That's Latin?
栄一さんがドイツ語とか言ったので、一瞬ドイツ語かなとか思った時にピンときました。今日は風邪で欠席が多いみたいですしね。
I suddenly got it too. Are they medical records? This marks Usami's second major mistake, the first being the fiasco of the ransom. And this will eventually fuel the flames of strife between Usami and Tsubaki. That's why I sent her the photo. Helping the Sano Corporation of this troublesome land acquisition trifle might be the main goal of this kidnapping, but that's not the full extent of my motives. Usami Haru. That woman is one of the few people privileged to knowledge of my past. She's also the only one searching for me right now. I want to finish her, but I'll have to let her go this time. What is it? Did something happen? She spoke so hurriedly that I almost envisioned saliva pouring out of her mouth. He's back? Hiroki's back? It might have just been my mind playing tricks on me, but it felt like even my voice was shivering. And so it continues. Greetings, my name's Neosekken, and welcome back to my Let's Play of The Devil on G-string. I think it's time that we go check on poor old Hiroki and see, see if hopefully the damage that's undoubtedly been dealt to him isn't too bad. That's what I'm hoping for anyway. Otherwise, well, this kid's gonna probably be stuck in therapy for a good chunk of his life. I rushed to Tsubaki's house first thing in the morning the next day. The train was empty, typical of a weekend morning. Tsubaki immediately presented her brother to me as she answered the door.
お兄ちゃん、こんにちは。
Jesus Christ, I'm so impressed he even has a smile. Hi. I was taken aback somewhat. Hey, you look pretty good. Given the fact that he was taken hostage and trapped in an abandoned hospital for a week.
でしょ？私も心配してたんだけどね。
Rightly so, I might add. Tsubaki recovered her smile. Were you cold?
ううん。真っ暗だったけど、お部屋はあったかかったよ。
What about food?
パンがたくさんあったよ。お菓子もあったよ。
It's pretty luxurious for a hostage. Do you remember anything about the I mean, who were you staying with?
お馬さんだったよ。
Horse?
お父さんの親戚の人だって言ってた。ちょっとお家に帰れなくなるけど、いい子にして待ってなさいって言われた。
A man of a horse mask, I'm guessing.
最初車に乗った時は怖い人かと思ったけど、お菓子くれたりおもちゃくれたりしていい人だったよ。
Well, I mean, I'll give the devil man one thing. At least he was kind of considerate towards his treatment of this kid. Well, the kidnapper got Hiroki on his side pretty easily.
お姉ちゃん寂しかったでしょ。
Hiroki flashed a mischievous smile.
もうこの子は本当に。
Tsubaki looked like she was going to cry. All's well that ends well, I guess.
一件落着だね。今日からようやく日記を再開できるよ。
Yeah, I won't believe it's over until I see Devilman in chains. What, you haven't been writing in it lately?
日記も書けなくなるほど動揺していたみたいでした。丸。
You poor thing. Tsubaki made a refreshing smile. Their family will be facing a move after this, but the situation was finally under control.
おはよう。
Hello, Usami. That is, until this girl appeared. You implying that that her mere presence brings chaos?
はるちゃん、どうしたの？
ひろあきくんが帰ってきたと聞いたんで。
Tsubaki turned her head aside and looked at me. Yeah, Usami was right beside me when I received a phone call from you yesterday.
あんな夜中に？二人で何をして？
Usami walked up to Hiroki as Tsubaki interrogated me.
髪の毛ボーボーのお姉ちゃん、こんちは。
ちは、大丈夫だったか？
みんなに聞かれるよ。大丈夫だよ。
本当か？私には何でも言うんだぞ。
はるちゃん、昨日はごめんね。ひどいこと言っちゃったような気がして。
気にしてない。私こそお前を知らず知らず傷つけていたようで、申し訳なく思ってる。
Upon hearing this, Tsubaki sighed in relief.
せっかくだし、上がってく？引っ越しが近いから散らかってるけど、今はまだ手をつけてないから。
そうだな。警察にも連絡しないといけないしな。
Right after she mentioned it,
警察？
Tsubaki's face turned green.
警察ってどういうこと？
どういうことって、一連の事件を警察に通報するんだ。
That's the reason Usami came by today. I have to think of a way to prevent Tsubaki from doing so. But the following turn of events caught me by surprise.
何言ってるの？
Tsubaki's lips quivered.
そんなことしないよ。
なんだって？
Usami frowned.
おかしいよ、はるちゃん。
おかしい。私が？
はるちゃんみたいに頭のいい人ならわかるでしょ？
You might want to explain it to me too here, because I'm also kind of confused as to why you would object to it at this point.
まだ警察を頼る気はないのか？
当たり前だよ。
I mean,
なんて恐ろしいこと言うの？
I mean, obviously the reason is clearly that Mawu here has whispered quite a lot of sugar laced with poison into her ears, but I'm just curious to hear the justification that she'll try to give for us not calling the police at this point, especially considering that our hostage here is safe and sound with us right as we speak. Tsubaki's face read unbelievable.
なぜだ？
だってそうじゃない？警察に連絡したら犯人が怒るよ。
Usami's eyes met mine for a brief moment. Tsubaki's afraid of a possible second or third kidnapping. I guess that makes sense, honestly. I didn't even consider that.
はるちゃんは身代金をすり替えて一度犯人を怒らせたのに、またそんなこと言われても困るよ。
But that would imply, though, that the kidnapper would have a reason to kidnap one of you guys again. But at this point, could any of you really wager a guess as to what he would gain from kidnapping any of you again? Usami fell silent, as if trying to restrain herself.
ごめんね。心配してくれてるのはわかるんだよ。だけど警察には連絡しないよ。
Usami gazed into Tsubaki with the eyes of a beast.
犯罪者の報復を恐れるがあまり、犯罪者を憎もうともしないのは、あまりにも弱腰というものじゃないか。
Usami squeezed a sentence out of her mouth.
はるちゃんにはわからないよ。はるちゃんの家族がこんなことになったわけじゃないでしょ。
Funny you should mention that.
家の電話が鳴るだけで心臓が飛び跳ねるくらい驚いて、風で窓が鳴っただけでひろあきが帰ってきたんじゃないかって夜中に目が覚めるんだよ。そんなのはもうごめんね。そういうわけだから。
Tsubaki closed her eyes in anguish. What an unexpected development. There couldn't be a better outcome, for me at least. Well then, Usami. What? You want to say something? In the end, Usami didn't help one bit. I'm sure she's not quite ready to just let this drop, but regardless, she no longer has any right to stick her nose into Tsubaki's family affairs.
ひろあきくんが無事で本当によかった。帰ります。
She turned away after she finished. Hiroki grabbed Tsubaki's sleeves.
ねえお姉ちゃん遊んで。
ひろあき、ちょっと中に入ってなさい。
Tsubaki shrugged off Hiroki's grip.
ごめん。ちょっと浅井くんとお話あるの。
うんわかった。後でおやつ作ってね。
Such a demanding child. Hiroki took a look at me and went into the house. Don't worry about it. Anyway, this case has been wrapped up. You can return to your everyday life from today on.
そうかな。
She wore a tight expression.
浅井くん、私
Weird?
変になっちゃったかな。
Well, I think you're getting progressively whittled down psychologically. Couldn't really tell you. Looking back on the horror and misfortune of the past few days, I'd be more surprised if she was acting like a normal schoolgirl.
なんかね、怖いの。今まで 知りもしなかった感情がどんどん大きくなっていくような気がして。
As if trying to suppress her shivering, she crossed her arms and hugged herself. Yeah, I must admit that you have been a bit excited these past few days, but don't let it bother you.
ありがとう。浅井くんにそう言ってもらえると心強いよ。
I turned and left after seeing that smile. Well then, I'll see you at school. Just call me if anything comes up. We're all done here. Both the kidnapping and the change in Tsubaki's attitude were developing in a way that benefited me. I must have the luck of the devil or something.
待って浅井くん。今日時間ある？
Today? Well, I don't have any special plans. Why?
ならちょっと会わない？
Aren't we already together?
改めてっていう意味。
I don't have anything to do with Tsubaki anymore. It's a rare occasion, but I might be busy working.
夜ならどうかな？
Wouldn't it be better to spend the day with your family? Your mom just got out of the hospital, didn't she?
だから深夜とかは？
You really want to see him? In the middle of the night? Is little Miss Goody Two-Shoes Tsubaki actually asking a man out late at night?
ごめんね。なんだか不安で浅井くんと一緒にいたいんだよ。
For some reason, I get the gist that this girl is interested in me. About damn time. Honestly, it was kind of... I could be a total dick and just say annoying. But, well, I'm not a dick. Unlike our protag here. So, wanna come to my place?
浅井くんのお家？
Yeah. It'll be more convenient if we're going to meet up late tonight.
わかったよ。
Wow. She didn't even think twice about it. Talk about zero cautiousness. I should really have a nice chat with her tonight. Well, I'll see you then.
夜電話するね。
Tsubaki's voice lingered in my ears. How's Hiroki doing now? It's 10 at night. I brought Tsubaki to my apartment.
平気みたいだよ。まるで誘拐されたことをもう忘れてるみたい。
Seems like the kidnapper took care of Hiroki really well.
ちゃんと返してくれたしね。
She smiled gently. Tsubaki doesn't seem to hate the kidnapper. I made coffee and sat down opposite Tsubaki. Say.
Huh?
Have you calmed down a bit? Tsubaki had said earlier that she wanted to feel me next to her.
少しね。
I see. I wondered as I watched Tsubaki drink the coffee. What does she have to be insecure about? You're really gonna ask that question after everything that's happened the past few days? You fucking dunce. Hiroki's back. It's all over. Is she nervous about the move? Well, she is leaving a home she spent her whole life in. How are the preparations for the move going? Isn't the deadline approaching?
ちょこちょこやってたから多分大丈夫。
Were they preparing for the move while Hiroki was still being held hostage? She really has things together. I can definitely see why Tsubaki is the center of her family. You don't want to move, do you?
しょうがないことだよ。浅井くんは精一杯してくれたんだし。
Judging by her tone, It didn't sound like she was afraid of moving.
それにしても、すごいお家だね。
Looks like she wants to change the topic. Oh, yes, come to think of it, it's your first time here, isn't it?
何畳くらいあるの？
Same question as Asami, eh? I laughed through my nose.
はるちゃん？
ん？
はるちゃんも来たことあるんだ。そっか、なんか言ってたね。
What? Something wrong?
ううん。
She's had the same exact reaction multiple times now. Surely you must be getting some kind of hint as to what could be bothering her whenever you even mention her name. Buddy, come on. Use some of those brain cells that you put towards financing, towards behavioral analysis. Tsubaki shook her head. She seemed uncomfortable. Right, you and Asami have been a bit awkward lately. Tsubaki's eyebrows jumped.
そう見える？
Kind of obvious. I can tell. Well, not necessarily to this guy. Tsubaki hesitated before going on.
はるちゃんって浅井くんのこと。
But cold sweat burst from my skin. Please don't say such disgusting things while I'm drinking coffee unless you want it all over your face. How could that possibly be true?
でもここんところいつも一緒にいるでしょ？
We were trying to find Hiroki together. I wasn't much help, though.
今日はね、本当はそのことを聞きに来たの。
Well, it's not like I can tell you how Asami feels.
うん。でも私は。
She lowered her eyes. What?
私は浅井くんのことが。
This is upsetting. I'm not sure what sort of misconception she's arrived at, but I was only taking advantage of Tsubaki. You're irritating me. There was no love there whatsoever. Hey, Tsubaki. I spoke in a deep voice. I understand what you're trying to say. Well, I should have known with you coming over at this hour. Tsubaki's face froze. You're saying you want to be a couple, right? Tsubaki remained speechless. Well, I'll think about it.
Huh?
I don't hate you, but I don't love you either. She was waiting for my next sentence. Maybe you should go home for now. But Tsubaki didn't budge.
どうやったら付き合ってもらえるかな？
I smiled. I couldn't tell you. But what I can tell you is that you should never enter a boy's room at this hour.
え？どうして？
They'll think you're easy.
そうなんだ。ごめんね。
I know you're not actually an easy girl. Even so, you should pay attention to how other people see you.
気にした方がいい？
Yeah, I hate attention. I don't want rumors to spread about me bringing girls home. This coming from the guy who tries to maintain a playboy reputation at school.
服装とかもおしゃれな方がいいかな？
Certainly. It's important to keep your outward appearance. Well, buddy, she's gonna be a bit tight for money for a good while, so maybe you'd want to show some generosity and buy her some nice clothes, if you absolutely insist that she looks prim and proper for your tastes.
頑張ってみるよ。
For some reason, she was encouraged.
よかった。日記やめろとか言われたらどうしようかと思った。
Hey, that's a good idea. Don't listen to him!
ひどいよ。
She was a little different from usual. I couldn't pinpoint exactly what it was, though.
おやすみ。
I walked Tsubaki back home. She seemed nervous the entire time. She hardly spoke a word. Though there were some difficulties, at long last, the annoying events of revolving around Tsubaki were finally coming to an end. From tomorrow forth, my everyday life will return again. How should I respond to Tsubaki's feelings? This question nagged at the back of my mind. You are exactly the last person I wanted to see today. How you doing, dingus? The next morning, I was summoned by Gonzo. He suddenly brought this up during breakfast. Pardon?
例の三輪椿だったか。
Yes?
食ったか。
Gonzo smirked. No. She looks to be troubled, so... Gonzo was unsatisfied with my answer.
きちんとしつけておけよ。
I'm perfectly aware of what needs to be done. Though the kidnapping incident is over, we can't say for sure that the police are going to stay silent. Judging by how Tsubaki acted yesterday, I don't think there will be any problems for a while.
もし警察がうちの身辺を捜査するようなことがあったらどうする？
The Jenga tower of my life will end up collapsing right on top of my head, basically. When that time comes, I will take responsibility.
分かっているならいい。
It really turns out that way. God knows what Gonzo will do to me. I laid down my chopsticks and slowly sipped the tea. It's been a pleasure as always, sir. As I prepared to leave, Gonzo stopped me.
これから鳴らしに行くが来るか？
Practice? Practice? This was the first time Gonzo had invited me.
そろそろお前も覚えておいた方がいいかと思ってな。
Well, being part of a Yakuza organization, you would have access to guns, so... In other words, he's going far away to a shooting range. With real bullets and real guns, of course. Well, I'm thankful for the invitation, but...
鳴らしておかないといざという時に使えんぞ。
Well, I hate to agree with him, but he's not exactly wrong. I'm sorry, but I have an appointment this afternoon with people from Sano. I don't like the silence coming from this man. It's kind of scaring me. Gonzo didn't make another sound. That's all.
京介、
Yes?
しっかりやれよ。
I've been working non-stop since this morning. I finally got a chance to breathe after the discussion with Sano. Let's go home and get some sleep. I spotted a familiar face amidst the crowd. Usami? Nope. Tsubaki!
浅井くん？
She looked around trying to spot me.
お兄ちゃんこんにちは。
Shrimp! Her brother was with her. Are you going shopping?
うん、お姉ちゃんおもちゃ買ってくれるって。
That's great. Hiroki's smile was perfectly identical to the one when we first met. There was no sign of any emotional scars from the kidnapping.
ついでに携帯電話持とうと思ってね。
It might be due to the presence of her brother, but her nervousness from yesterday had vanished completely. A cell phone. You know, they're really...
便利でしょ？
Yeah. I think she said something like there wasn't a need for one before. I don't really remember.
あとね、お洋服も買うの。
She did mention to you not too long ago about considering getting a cell phone, so it's not exactly the first time she said this. Right, the dead of winter is just around the corner.
それだけじゃないんだけどね。
Perhaps she took our conversation from yesterday to heart.
ねえ、お姉ちゃん早く。
So demanding. Hiroki pulled on Tsubaki's sleeves with his tiny arms.
ねえ、浅井くん、暇かな？
That's a good question. Well, protege money man, do you have time? Huh?
よかったら一緒にお買い物しない？
Well, I certainly do have some time. Well, look at that! Protege money man has some time.
じゃあ
She's a little forceful today.
ねえ、早く。
Hiroki was already pouting. Okay, let's go.
やったー。
I'm no good when it comes to kids. Sucks for you then. We just finished our shopping at a nearby department store.
ねえ、早く帰ろうよ。
Is half of your dialogue just demands from people? I get he's a child and all, but still. Apparently, Hiroki couldn't wait to assemble his new plastic model.
まだお姉ちゃんの買い物が終わってないんだよ。もうちょっと回らせてよ。お願い。
Looks like her gentle words pacified him for the time being. He didn't sound pacified to me. What clothes are you buying? Coats?
特に決めてないけど。
You decide to go clothes shopping without even a basic idea of what you might be looking for? We continue to leisurely stroll about Central Boulevard. I led Tsubaki to several boutiques.
浅井くんってお店に詳しいんだね。
Nah, anyone from school would know as much as I do.
私がちょっと田舎ちゃんなだけ？
Nonsense! If anybody is a hick, it's Eiichi. Eiichi would probably be able to help you a lot more than me in this area. See?
そっか。H くんってだから女の子に人気があるんだね。いろいろ聞いてみようっと。
Well, have you made up your mind?
あ、どうしようかな。
How about the duffel coat we just saw?
もう一周してもいい？
Sure, why not? Hiroki followed us obediently. I found out the hard way just how agonizingly long girls take to shop. And Hiroki, he looks so unhappy right now. And I'm sure he's gonna let us know all about it.
ねえ、お姉ちゃん、まだ？
We've been out for long enough.
お姉ちゃん、いつもはパパッと決めちゃうのにどうしたの？
ごめんね。なんか目移りしちゃって。
I know what you mean. Let's go buy the cell phone first then. Wait, there is a chance she might be confused by all the models of cell phones too.
僕もう帰りたいよ。
もうちょっとだけね。
やだ、疲れたよ。
Hiroki started acting like a spoiled brat.
もう一人でも帰る。
No! Tsubaki turned pale.
わかったよ。ごめんね、ひろあき。だから一人で帰るなんて言わないで。
Tsubaki looked at her brother. Her feelings during the kidnapping must still be vivid in her mind. Well, why wouldn't they be? They didn't happen that long ago.
いいよ。
Hiroki muttered under his breath.
もうちょっとだったらいいよ。
When all is said and done, they really are good siblings.
そう？いいの？
Tsubaki asked him cautiously. I thought for sure she would have decided to just go home with him.
じゃあ、
Tsubaki walked toward the cell phone shop, but she shuffled about apprehensively.
帰ろっか。お家に帰ろう。ね。
You got negative feelings towards cell phones courtesy of Devilman, I assume? Sounded like she was convincing herself. Oh, my cell phone is ringing. It's Usami. Do you mind if I answer it? Tsubaki gestured for me to go on. What's the matter?
いや、浅井さん、今バイト終わりました。
Huh?
ところで、今晩どうすか？
Stop trying to invite me like an old man.
夕飯まだなんでしょ？
The invitations just keep coming today. It's not bad to live a decadent day from time to time. Sounds good. Where to?
じゃあ、駅前の300円ラーメンでいいっすか？
It doesn't really matter. I'll call you back later.
はい。
She hung up.
どうしたの？
Nothing. I'm going to eat with ramen with Usami later.
あ、そうなんだ。
What's wrong?
いや、今日はご飯用意するつもりだったから。
Really?
うん。付き合ってくれたお礼に。
Well, I'll call her back then.
断るの？
No, I just thought we could call Usami up and dine together. Is that okay? Or, here's an idea. You could just call back Usami and let her know, hey, so I'm actually out with Tsubaki right now, and apparently she wanted to make me a meal later. So, are you cool if we just skip today? Maybe and just maybe go to the shop another time? You could just do that. I mean, yeah, that might not exactly spark positive feelings in Usami either, but I mean, to me anyway, it'd be the least harmful option you could go with.
ああ、うん。
Tsubaki's eyes moved about anxiously.
はるちゃんとは昨日喧嘩しちゃったしな。
I would hardly call that an argument, though it did end on a bad note. Would you rather me not call Usami?
うん、そんな仲間外れみたいなことできないよ。
Tsubaki smiled gently. Alright, I'll go ahead and call her back then. I reached for my cell phone and dialed as I finished.
はいはい。自分もう向かってますよ。
Beg pardon? Oh, the thing is, I'm with Tsubaki right now, so...
お断りしておきます。
Okay. I haven't even finished my sentence.
椿の家でご飯っていうプランでしょ？
Why? Let go of that thing from yesterday already.
いいえ。ただ、私は椿に近寄らない方が賢明なのではないかと。
Is that so?
わからないでもないでしょ？
Tsubaki is romantically interested in me. She thinks Usami likes me too. Well, Usami, I do recall Usami saying at one point, I like you. So, she's not wrong. Tsubaki, I mean. Maybe Usami picked up on that little snippet as well.
では自分、このまま帰ります。
This time, it was Usami's turn to hang up on me. She went home.
え、どうして？
Sound like something came up. Anyway, your house is all the way in the Eastern District. It'd be too far out of her way to just get dinner. I lied without even blinking.
本当に
Impressive.
私に気を使ってくれたんじゃないの？
I don't think so.
当？嘘ついてないよね。
I was quite astonished. A small feeling I had that something was wrong had grown into certainty. I don't remember Tsubaki ever actually suspecting me. This girl really has changed a bit.
お姉ちゃん
Tsubaki's brother raised his head to study her expression. Anyway, Usami's not coming. Let's get a move on. I suddenly felt a wave of dizziness.
大丈夫？
No, there's just this little devil on my shoulder who's poking his head horns into my ear. It's kind of making me dizzy. In fact, I think he wants to take the reins for a bit, but I'm trying not to let him. Yeah, it's nothing. I caught the flu that's going around, that's all. I tapped my forehead lightly with my fingers. Sorry, but I think I'm going to back out too. I need to go home and get some sleep.
私も浅井くんの家行っていい？
Take
おかゆ
the
とか作るよ。
Take small child back first before you do that, please. He's been tortured enough, I'm sure. Oh, come on. What would you do with Hiroki? Hiroki quietly listened to our conversation. They exchanged glances. Don't mind me. You guys get home, all right? Tsubaki finally nodded. Take care. I hurried away from Tsubaki. Something urged me away from her. Whatever Tsubaki had said, it never reached my ears. She was exhausted. Tsubaki thought she might be getting sick.
お父さん、書斎の荷物まとめた？
Her family was busy preparing to move. Tsubaki was taking care of the kids' toys and the books in the bedroom, tying stacks of them together with twine.
ねえ、お父さんたら聞いてるの？
ああ、すまん。今やってるよ。ほら、ひろあき、ちょっとどいてなさい。
Voices bathed in joy poured forth from the study. A father and his son were happily building the new plastic model together. The tension that Tsubaki's father had accumulated all but dissipated after Hiroki's return yesterday. He sat by Hiroki's side and played with him for hours on end, disregarding his assigned duties. Tsubaki understood his feelings very well, so she held her tongue. She was currently still busy playing the role of her sick mother, taking care of the whole family's chores. She cooked, washed laundry, crooned her siblings to sleep, poured beer for her father, and now spent a few peaceful moments packing up for the move. Suddenly, Tsubaki began to question her endless work.
ほら、さえ、ちゃんとお布団で寝てなさい。トイレはあっちでしょ。もう。
She used a harsher tone than she meant to. She said things she didn't mean to say. What's happening to me? Nothing should have changed for her. As the eldest daughter of the Miwa family, Tsubaki has always done chores like cooking and laundry. Taking care of her siblings for her sick mother was only natural. She had even gotten a kick out of her father's subtle nagging and complaints back in the day. Tsubaki began to search her thoughts for the reason behind her change. Her wandering mind settled once more on that man. The unforgettable whispers of the devil assailed her from her memory. I will mold you into a human. He said this to her as she ran around the city with the ransom. After that, they had secretly rendezvoused twice. In the end, what had Hiroki's kidnapper wanted with Tsubaki? He seemed to have a liking for psychology. As a result, Tsubaki's heart had been scooped out numerous times without her ever realizing it. Tsubaki thought that she would like to meet him again someday. If she did, she'd had the chance to take out all her melancholy on him. She wanted to burden him with the feelings within her which brought forth such anger and regret. But at the same time, Tsubaki felt indescribable uneasiness toward her hatred of another person. At that moment, her prayers were answered. Her cell phone rang. This was the phone the kidnapper had provided her. She had wanted to scrap it, but never managed to, deciding instead to keep it nearby at all times. She pressed it tightly between her hands. After affirming that her family hadn't noticed, she pressed the talk button with hesitation. The receiver remained silent. She quietly said, "Hello."
久しぶりだな。
That strange, familiar voice reached her ears. It was the kidnapper.
少し話がしたい。
わかりました。
She acquiesced to his desires right away. What the hell are you doing? Maybe this was the moment she had been waiting for. Tsubaki walked silently under the winter sky.
名残惜しいが、これが最後の連絡だ。
The criminal had waited for the right time to speak.
ひろあきくんは元気かな？
はい。監禁されていたことなんて、もうすっかり忘れているみたいに元気です。
監禁だなんてとんでもないな。保護していたようなものだ。トラウマになってしまったらかわいそうだろ？
Was it a joke? Or was he serious? The criminal acted as if he had done the boy a favor.
警察には連絡していないだろうな。
もちろんです。
分かっていると思うが、私はまたいつでもお前の家族を絶望の淵に立たせることができる。
The voice permitted no denial. Tsubaki took a deep breath and asked,
何の用ですか？もう、あなたのことは早く忘れたいんですが。
Lies. She wouldn't be able to forget about this man even if she tried.
最後に確認しておこうと思ったのだ。
確認？
Tsubaki held her breath. The kidnapper continued.
私が憎いか？
He used a provocative tone. Tsubaki's head felt as if it had been pummeled by a blunt object. She found herself tongue-tied.
そうか、憎いか。
Mao laughed with satisfaction.
しかし、私はもうお前の前には現れない。たとえ警察が調べを入れたとしても、私の足取りはつかめないだろう。
Tsubaki's knees nearly buckled under her. This evildoer was about to disappear. Who could she take these suppressed feelings out on?
言っておくが、お前は巻き込まれたに過ぎない。私の真の目的は別のところにあった。
真の目的って何ですか？
わかるだろう。お前の身近な友達だ。
Tsubaki finally understood, and a name escaped her lips.
はるちゃん。
Then, suddenly, the chime of the dial tone echoed in Tsubaki's ear. The devil's whispers vanished into the wind. Only the sound of her own breath reached Tsubaki as she stood there, motionless in the cold.
そんな。
She gripped the cell phone tightly. Her lips quivered and her brow furrowed. An impulse to scream raged in her mind. Dirty emotions gathered in her heart, all directed at a dear friend. That girl likes Kyosuke too, she thought. Tsubaki couldn't control these feelings. Tsubaki decided that her past self had indeed been the distorted one. She became the class representative simply because people had asked her to. She had cleaned up for friends when they shirked their duties. She put her young brother as her top priority, spent all her time and allowance on the people around her, and never kept enough money to buy what she herself wanted. She had been granted the stigma of a kind person, and she never thought twice about it. Desire slowly crept into that forced smile of hers. Tsubaki sank into a sea of daydreams. She wanted to wear nicer clothes, to play freely, to... Desires befitting any girl her age continued to surface in Tsubaki's heart one by one, as she slowly returned to her room. Do you mind? I'm busy worrying about Tsubaki. Eiichi came up to me first thing in the morning, wrinkling his brow. What is it? Get your face out of mine.
そろそろよ、俺の家でパーティーの時期じゃねえの?
You still going on about that birthday bullshit? Since when did we party together?
今年からだけどよ、ついに俺ちゃんも爬虫類に手を出したわけだよ。
Ah, cold-blooded, right? Just like you? You're talking about pets now?
とりあえずヘビから言ってみたわけだ。チャーリーって言うんだが、これがまた冬だけあって切なそうなんだよ。
A snake named Charlie. I'm not gonna lie, that's actually kind of cute. What are you trying to say? You want me to visit Charlie?
エグザクトリーだぜ。
There's something wrong with this kid. Oh, you're just now starting to notice.
楽しそうなお話してますね。
We're talking about a pet snake named Charlie. Would you like to go meet him?
は、宇佐美さんも来るかい？
お誘いありがとうございます。宴会は地味に好きです。
ちゃんとお土産持ってきてね。
ヘビさんにですか？
Ah, so she was listening.
ううん、僕に。
死んだバッタとかでいいっすかね？
だから僕にだってば。
I think she was asking if you, about you, a gift for you. And with that, class commenced. During class, Usami suddenly turned toward me.
椿、来てないっすね。
You're right. Do you think something happened?
昨日ご飯食べたんじゃないんですか？
No, I backed out at the last minute.
椿最近ちょっと疲れ気味だと思うんで、心配です。
I agree. She has her upcoming move to worry about as well.
浅井さんのフォローが必要ですね。
Why me?
自分はちょっと敬遠されているみたいなので。
That's true. Tsubaki rolled into school at the crack of dawn. Noon, excuse me.
みんなおはよう。
I thought she might have come down to flu or something, but she seems energetic enough. Why so late?
何してたの？
ちょっと昨日夜更かししちゃって。
Moving preparations?
うん、そんなとこかな。ちょっと日記つけたり、本読んでたりしてたの。
You're late because of that? Well, maybe she's just tired.
あ、引っ越しするんだ。へえ、どこに引っ越すの？
It's somewhere in the central district, right?
浅井くんの家の近くだよね。
Well, how convenient. Her voice jumped. It's no more than a 10-minute walk from my place.
嬉しいな。新築のマンションなんだよね。
Yeah. I had the guy show me a really good room.
僕ちょっと残念だな。
何が？
なんかあそこアットホームな感じがあったからさ。
The smile disappeared from Tsubaki's lips.
でも、うちってすごく古いんだよ。隙間風とかすごいし、砂壁だし、 ストーブないと寒くてたまらないんだよ。
But that's what you have giant blankets and cuddling time for.
僕さ、生まれも育ちも都会だからさ、ちっちゃい頃からああいう一戸建ての家に住みたいなーとか思ってたんだよね。
そうなの？H 君ってずっとマンションだったの？
よく言う鍵っ子だよ。お父さんは単身赴任ばっかりだし、お母さんも夜遅いからね。
そうなんだ。
I can't tell if he's being honest or not. Tsubaki nodded gently.
言ってくれたら今度ご飯作りに行くね。
Well, at least that part of Tsubaki doesn't seem to have changed.
ありがとう。正直、寂しい時あるんだよね。
Still, this is the first I've heard of Eiichi's family situation.
ちょっとオーバーに言い過ぎちまったかな。しかしこれいいな。不幸アピールっつうのは今度はみなしごっていう設定にしようかね。
I really should have guessed that he was lying through his teeth. What is wrong with me? I was an idiot for sympathizing with him, even for a moment. Well, I'm an idiot too, so you and me, a pair of idiots. Let's go get something to drink together. Now then, lunch break's almost over. I don't have much to do today, so I'll just go home and sleep. My headaches have been awful recently. Just as I was about to leave, Tsubaki called out to me. Something on her face tells me she's about to invite me somewhere.
浅井くん、今日ちょっと寄っていかない？
Tsubaki has been a lot more forward lately. The first time she asked me out, she looked terrified. Wasn't I with you just yesterday?
ダメかな。セントラル街でね、バイオリニストのイベントあるみたいだよ。
You saw me? Oh? Really? On Central?
なんかデパートのイベントでちょっとした演奏会とその後握手会するみたい。
On second thought, she wouldn't have the reach for that, so no. Who's playing?
ね。
Tsubaki flipped through her diary. After hearing the name, my heart began to race. Is it one of those events with free tickets and a chance to get a signature if you buy the CD afterward?
そうそう、ちっちゃい企画みたいだけど、どうかな？
We're going. My immediate answer made Tsubaki smile happily. But I can't believe you know about such obscure things.
昨日調べたの。
She looked a bit proud of herself. What about Hiroki? Doesn't he have to go to kindergarten?
しばらく休ませてるから。
And the others? I forget their names.
お父さんが面倒見てくれてる。
What about moving preparations? Wait, am I nagging you?
準備は夜中やればいいから、最悪明日でもいいしね。
Well then, let's go.
今日は遊びたいの。
Tsubaki clung to my side, smiling flirtatiously. I can't picture her having a flirtatious smile. It's impossible. By the time we left the department store, the sky was completely dark. Live performances really are a wholly different experience.
ご満悦だね。CD もちゃんと2枚買ったしね。
Of course. Maybe it's the release of tension after an activity, but the sensation of the chilly air against my flushed cheeks felt great. Thank you, Tsubaki.
また行こうね。
Oh, that reminds me. Didn't you say you were getting a cell phone? Do you want me to go with you?
本当？ありがとう。
But aren't you short on time? It's already 8.
今日は平気だよ。
Really? Previously, she would have gone back by now for sure. But if she says it's okay, then it's probably fine. Well, what about your packing and other stuff like that? We casually strolled along the bustling streets. We wandered around town for 2 hours. We bought her a cell phone and had dinner together. Now then,
ねえ浅井くん、次どこ行こうか。
I spoke without thinking. Hey now, it's already 10. Even I want to go home. I don't have a specific job right now, but I have to check my accumulated mail daily.
ゲームセンターとか行く？浅井くんってゲームするのかな？
Didn't picture you for a gamer. What happened to you? Tsubaki's attitude bothered me.
何が？
Are you the type to stay out this late? I don't think there are any strings of words as incomprehensible as Tsubaki and the arcade at night.
そんなことないんじゃない？ほら、よくカップルでぬいぐるみキャッチャーとかしてるじゃない？ああいうのしたいなーって思って。
Those things are rigged, you know. What happened to the Tsubaki I once knew? No matter how much she likes me, she's being strangely forceful about wanting to hang out. What, did the night owl in you suddenly awaken?
そうかな？そうかもね。
That worries me. Tsubaki maintained her playful attitude. It's not like we're doing anything bad. It's not a problem to be late for school once in a while, and there's nothing wrong with going to the arcade. Still, something's strange. I heard that once a hardworking person learns to slack off, there's nothing that can cure them. I was only half joking, but Tsubaki's expression suddenly became frightful.
なんだかね、遊ぶと気持ちがスッとするの。
Huh?
嫌なこと忘れて遊んでると楽なの。自分でもちょっとダメかなって思うんだけど、それがまた気持ちいいの。
Way to drop a bomb.
冗談だよ。
She laughed happily. I think I've only seen that kind of laughter, the kind of her mouth wide open, her teeth shining, recently. Let's just head home. We can go to the arcade next time.
ごめんね、無理言って。
It's good to see that she's still as earnest as always.
なんか観察されてるみたいだよ。
It's just your imagination. Let's go. I'll walk you home. She shook her head.
でもね、浅井くん、
She's about to open up again.
今まで我慢しすぎだったのかなって。
Maybe it's that release of tension from having the incident resolved. But she looks like she's been possessed by something.
わざわざありがとう。
The air over here is really nice. I let out a big yawn. I can see a lot more stars out here than I can from my apartment in the central district.
ちょっと上がってく？
If I did, I'd miss the train.
泊まってく？浅井くんならお父さんも許してくれると思う。
Even if your dad allows it, I won't allow it. Don't tell me you were hoping to go to school together tomorrow.
ダメかな？
If Eiichi and Usami saw us, I don't even want to think about the trouble that would ensue. I do.
はるちゃんはそういうのを冷やかす人なのかな？
I'm not saying she'd make fun of us per se. I just think she'd crack some stupid joke and leave.
何にしても、はるちゃんはちょっとわけわかんない時あるよね。
Nothing wrong with strange. Necessarily. Mm-hmm. I'd say so. I knew it. Tsubaki hasn't been getting along with Usami. What was your first clue?
そうだ、携帯の番号を交換してもらっていいかな？
Sure. At that moment, I heard footsteps from behind me and turned around. Huh?
あ、お姉ちゃんたちだ。
ちょっとひろあき、どこ行ってたの？
アイス買いに行ってたんだよ。
In his hand was a convenience store bag.
一人で？
Oh my lord. she's gonna blow up on him.
何してるの？危ないじゃない。
Tsubaki was furious and closed the distance between herself and her brother.
もうバカ。お父さんは？
お父さんなんか忙しいみたいだったからこっそり出たの。
だからって一人でなんて。
ダメだった？
お金はどうしたの？
お姉ちゃんの貯金箱から借りた。
Her lips were trembling. I could hear her agitated breathing. Tsubaki opened her eyes wide.
ひろあき、お姉ちゃんの気持ちわからない？
You're honestly expecting a young child like him to understand your feelings.
ひろあきは悪い人にさらわれたんだよ。
悪い人じゃなかったよ。
悪い人なの。お姉ちゃんたちとっても心配したんだよ。
Maybe Tsubaki had frightened him. Hiroki quickly became frank.
ごめんなさい。
His little head drooped down. Tsubaki stared at her brother, dissatisfied. My eyes trickled down to her arm as it dangled powerlessly at her side, and came upon a tightly clenched fist.
お姉ちゃん？
Maybe Hiroki had been unexpectedly waiting for Tsubaki's forgiveness.
あんまり困らせないで。
Maybe, like always, Hiroki was anticipating Tsubaki's warm embrace.
まったく、お父さんもお父さんだよ。なんでひろあきから目を離すかな。
Tsubaki continued muttering weak complaints.
ごめんねお姉ちゃん。お姉ちゃん困ってるの？
Hey, Tsubaki, calm down a bit.
わかってる。
I finally found an opportunity to intervene.
でもお姉ちゃんだって帰ってくるの遅いよ。
お姉ちゃんはいいの。大人なんだから。
Sorry, Hiroki-kun. I was out playing with your sister. That's why we were so late. Things are getting complicated, so I tried to salvage the situation.
僕、女の人と遊んでもらって楽しかったけど、寂しいことあったんだよ。お姉ちゃんに会えないのは寂しかったんだよ。だからもっと遊んでよ。
Tsubaki didn't nod in response.
引っ越しの準備しなきゃ。
Tsubaki moved her gaze away from Hiroki. Come on, he's just a small child. He doesn't really grasp the gravity of what he's doing. Well then, good night.
また明日ね。
After we exchanged phone numbers, we made some small talk and parted. Tsubaki is reverting into a base being. The unrealistic part of her nature has begun to disappear. Maybe something has been bottling up inside her all this time. Now that I think about it, she's taking care of such a huge family in place of her sick mother. She has no idea how to have fun. She doesn't know much about the world. This even got her into trouble with a scout once. She always gives people the benefit of the doubt and tries her damnedest for others. What would happen if a person like that broke? Tsubaki means no more to me than any of my other friends from school. She's just a person I can relax with. That's the way it should be. But it seems that our bonds lately have been running a little too deep. I should just go to bed. The headache didn't attack me that night, and I slept soundly. Eiichi caught me first thing the next morning.
で、結局パーティーどうするよ。
It doesn't really matter to me. It's all good as long as I'm free.
なら今日だな。
Well, that's rather sudden.
だって明日は祭日だろ。
Oh, right.
パーティーするの？
うんうん、僕んちおいでよ。
There's a snake there. His name is Charlie.
行く。楽しそうだね。
Usami then appeared out of nowhere, as she is wont to do.
椿、大丈夫か？
何が？
顔色が悪いぞ。
Indeed, two black circles ornamented Tsubaki's eyes.
平気だよ。はるちゃんこそ寝癖ひどいよ。
Why must you all pick on her hair? It really doesn't look that bad. But then again, I grew up on anime and shit ever since I was a young child, so maybe I'm just used to this sort of thing. So maybe I have no room to talk here, but still. Tsubaki responded with a smile. Then about the party.
私、ひろあきを迎えに行ってからだから遅くなる。
遅くてもいいよ。ちゃんとお土産持ってきてくれれば。
I suggest a dead grasshopper.
みかんでいいかな。とっても甘いよ。
おみかん。自分、みかん、大好き。
Duly noted. What are you, a caveman?
はるちゃんも来るんだね。
ああ、
Usami looked at Tsubaki with a serious face.
やめとこうか。
なんで？別に来ればいいと思うよ。
そっか。
Usami kept silent after that. Should we invite Kanan? You know, it actually has been a while since I've even thought about her. How's she doing?
いや、かのんちゃんはスケートの練習に忙しいからよそうよ。別に仲間外れにするわけじゃないよ。
Okay, I believe you. I guess you're right. The tournament's coming up soon. Yet, the person in question, Kanan, was napping on her desk. Probably dreaming of ice skating sheep.
で、京介くんはお土産何持ってきてくれるのかな？
You have poisonous snakes, right? How about a mongoose? Don't do that to Charlie!
ハーブじゃないよ。っていうか、マングースなんて持ってこれるもんなら持ってきてよね。
Have I been playing around too much recently? There are no major jobs right now, so it doesn't matter, but still.
浅井くんも来るんだよね。
Excuse me. Tsubaki's pale face worries me. Hey, Tsubaki. I spoke as though it wasn't important. I get the feeling you're becoming more ordinary. For her, I would say that's a bad thing.
そうかな。
Yeah, but it's not a bad thing. To who? What I meant was she was becoming more normal. Without that strange naivety, it was actually easier to communicate with her. I felt that Tsubaki and I were growing closer.
変かな。
Tsubaki asked uneasily. No, it's actually for the better. Keep it up, we'll have some good times yet. Tsubaki smiled brightly in relief.
遊ぼう。
いやいや、なんか二人で盛り上がってるけど、主催は僕だからね。
Time flies, and classes end in the blink of an eye. Sunset came earlier each day.
じゃあ私、一度帰るね。
またね。
Tsubaki left for the rest of us.
そういえば自分バイトでした。
来ないの？
Those bananas ain't gonna sell themselves.
すみません。もっと早くにお誘いいただければ前処したんですが。
いや、宇佐美さんももっと早くに断ってよ。
She must be trying to be considerate to Tsubaki.
椿に遠慮してるわけじゃないですよ。
Okay, I believe you.
でも、椿は心配です。
Worried.
疲れてるみたいですし。
だから今日僕が盛り上げてあげるよ。
さすが栄一さんです。自分は盛り下げるのが得意なんですが。
Nonsense. I never felt a shiver down and crawl down my spine in your presence. You saw me play with her long, shaggy hair.
椿のお父さんとかも大丈夫ですかね。
Tsubaki's dad. Why are you worried about her family?
いえ、なんとなくそう思ったんです。
She claimed to be worried, but her face remained as blank as always.
ほら、家族は似るもんじゃないですか。
Not necessarily.
浅井さんみたいにお父さんがすごい方だと、息子もすごい人になるじゃないですか。いろんな意味で。
What are you trying to say? This girl has no idea about Gonzo.
だから椿が疲れてると家族も、そう、まるで鏡のように元気をなくしていくんじゃないですかね。
Like a reflection in a mirror, you say? I get what she's trying to say, though. This phrase really clung to my mind. So, are your parents as strange as you?
ちっけえな。知らないわけじゃないでしょ。
Why would I know anything about your parents? Christ. Sami's always talking such nonsense. Mirrors? Give me a break.
ではまた。浅井さん、今度お話ししたいことありますので、その時はよろしくお願いします。
What the hell? Just say it now.
いえいえ、他愛もないギャグですので。
Just go to work already. I waved her as she walked away.
さて、どうするよ。
You're right. A party of only you and me would be...
寒いよマジで。俺とお前とチャーリーとかマジ寒いって。
On the contrary, if it was just me and Charlie, I'm sure I could have a pretty okay time. Looks like we need some girls. Charlie is good enough for us!
お前友達呼べよ、年上のジョイとか。
Eh?
ほらミキちゃんって子はお前のセフレの。
Miki-chan's not my FWB. That's out of the question. Speaking of which, I haven't talked to Miki in a good while. I wonder what's been going on in that neck of the woods.
じゃあ椿が来るまでナンパしようぜ。お前の財布と俺のスイーツ知識があればどうにでもなるって。
Sounds like a pain in the ass.
んだよグズグズしやがって。ほら行くぞ。
Hey, let go of me. We arrived on Central Boulevard. Eiichi got all fired up as we head for the thickest part of the crowd.
おい女。
Eiichi swished his finger and pointed.
飯食いに行くぞ。
Please, you don't just stand in front of a random girl and say that. As expected, the girl left in a hurry with a disgusted look on her face.
クソが。
Well, reality certainly is making you feel like one, isn't it? Look, H-san.
んだよ。おめえももっとやる気と財布出せよ。
Use your brain.
俺に意見する気かよ。
Your selling point is cuteness. Make use of that potential of yours.
だってよ。
Then again, working the cute angle won't really get you anywhere with skirt chasing.
ねえ、お姉さん。
Eiji found another mark a short while later.
ね、聞いてくれる？僕、手相の勉強してるんだ。ちょっといいかな。
The girl didn't even look at Eiichi. Hey kid, what's up with the palm reading?
俺なりの工夫だよ。女は占いとか好きだからな。
Not that many, last I checked. This Joker's hopeless. My phone suddenly rang. Yes, hello?
あ、浅井くん？
It was Tsubaki.
ごめん。ちょっと遅くなりそうなんだ。
Did something come up?
ちょっと、ひろあきが。
ん？
いや、構ってほしいみたいで。
Right, Hiroki did mention something like that last night. Call me later. We'll just find something to do in the meantime.
ごめんね。なるべ 急いで行くから。
There's no need to rush. But she hung up as I was about to tell her that.
なんだって？
Tsubaki said she'll be coming a bit later than she said she would. Apparently she has to play with her brother.
んだよ、またあの弟かよ。わがままなガキだぜ。
You have no room to be commenting about anyone else's selfishness. You twerp. All kids are like that.
椿も苦労してんな。遊ぶ暇とかないんだろうな。
You're probably right.
あいつって化粧っ気も全然ねえじゃん。服も毎年似たようなの着てるしさ。ま、そこがちょっと俺ちゃんの中で評価高いわけだけど。
You? A high opinion?
なんつうの？清く正しい感じがするじゃん。貧乏だけど頑張りますみてえな。燃えるじゃん。
Is it? I, on the other hand, wasn't so fond of that part of her. That was a Tsubaki from the past.
あー、ナンパ来た。ゲーセンでも行って時間潰そうぜ。
Whatever, I don't care. I'm only watching, though. Arcades are only a waste of money. We decided to wander around Central Boulevard until Tsubaki called.
「気づいたらもう10時じゃね？
Who knows? Tsubaki still hasn't called.
さすがにお開きにするか。椿には悪いけど。
Fair enough. I'll call her and pass it on.
じゃあ帰るわ。
Sure. Eiichi disappeared in an instant. Plot twist. She'll walk right around the corner and then we'll find out she's been stalking us the entire time, waiting for Eiichi to vanish so she can be alone with moi. I'll head home soon too, but let's take care of some business first, shall we? It wouldn't hurt to show up at the company either. Top management has been doing a really good job lately, so there hasn't been much need for me to butt in. They've asked for my advice a few times. My advice didn't mean anything, of course. I guess they just wanted to make use of Gonzo's influence. An hour had already passed before Tsubaki called. Well, it looks like I was totally off the mark with my prediction. Even though, to be fair, I wasn't being all that serious. It's pretty late, you know.
ごめん、今どうしてる？
We gave up a long time ago. I could feel Tsubaki's anxiety even through the phone.
なんだ、そっか。
Come on, we can have a party any day.
浅井くん、明日は？
Huh?
明日空いてない？
What's the matter?
今日の埋め合わせみたいな。
You want to go out again?
それだけじゃなくて、ちょっとお父さんがお話ししたいみたいで。
Your father? Could it be about the land? Alright. I'll come to your house. Would it be okay? Would it be okay to come over before noon?
助かるよ。その後ちょっと出かけたりできると嬉しいな。
She's got her heart set on a date with me, apparently. Yeah, sounds good. For some reason, I seem to be relaxing my guard around Tsubaki. I'm starting to believe that it might be alright to tell her about my other side. Not everything, mind you, but perhaps just a little bit wouldn't hurt. It might be an opportunity to get things off my chest and gain someone I can discuss things with. Tsubaki seems to be at my beck and call anyway. I never liked her until recently, when she started to have an interest in topics that relate to money. Want to eat at a slightly classier restaurant than usual?
連れてってくれるの？
We'll play Dutch, of course, but yeah. You got some savings, right?
結構あるよ。今までお金の使い方とか知らなかったから。
I can teach you quite a few bad things. I replied with a joke. Tsubaki seems cheerful, too.
聞いてくれるかな？ひろあきがさ、 さっきやっと眠ってくれてさ。
Is that why you ended up calling so late?
そうなの。私、そういうのばっかりだよ。
Just your luck, huh?
そうかも。クラスでもさ、委員やってるけど、最近、なんで私なんだろうって思うの。
Well, ask yourself, why did I become the class representative to begin with? This conversation looks like it'll be here for the long haul.
あとさ、お父さんがね。
I sank deeply into conversation with Tsubaki as I made my way home.
ああ、これからまた引っ越しの準備だよ。お父さんももっと手伝ってくれればいいのに。
Tsubaki started complaining. Even her tone changed. I felt like I had trampled over something precious, but that only served to tickle my sadistic urges. I had tasted for the first time the pleasure that comes from defiling others. Good for you! The entire sensation felt a bit base. Nevertheless, dragging a pure girl like Tsubaki down to my level left me with an ecstatic grin. Turns out what Tsubaki's father wanted to talk to me about wasn't anything important. It was probably just Tsubaki's excuse to call me out. It doesn't bother me or anything, though. It's relatively normal for a girl to use this kind of tactic. Tsubaki, who was dressing up in front of the mirror, probably didn't even have a single thought of deceiving me. This is the way it should be. Tsubaki, where'd you get that outfit?
通販だよ。最近はインターネットで何でも買えるんだね。すぐ届くし便利だよね。
You didn't know about this before?
興味なかったから、なんだかすごく損してた気分。
Her expression might be bright, but I get the feeling that it looked a bit haggard as well. Have you written your diary lately?
全然。書く暇なんてここんところなかったから。
Definitely not a good sign. Her eyes were dull and seemed just a bit empty.
はあ、もう日記なんてやめようかな。今時ないよね、日記が趣味とか。どう
Well,
思うかな。
well, hey, I mean, if you enjoy writing it for fun, why stop just because you think no one else might be doing it? Be you. Is that really how you feel? Personally, when someone says Tsubaki, I immediately jump to that diary of yours.
うん。
Tsubaki wrinkled her eyebrows.
ねえお姉ちゃん、
何ひろあき。
かくれんぼしよ
後でね。それよりこれ似合う？
Tsubaki held out her new clothes for her brother to see.
う。
あれ？
Kids sure are frank.
お姉ちゃんは前に僕がいいって言った服が好きなんじゃないの？
あのパーカー？あれはもうずっと着てるじゃない？
うん。それでお姉ちゃん僕のお友達に貧乏ってあだ名つけられた。でもそれでも好きって言ってたよ。
うん。
どうしたのお姉ちゃん。
浅井くんはどう思う？
Tsubaki looked at me with pleading eyes. If I had to choose between one and the other, I'd say the new clothes are a bit more fitting.
そうだよね。
There's a different air to them. That's a good thing, right? Not necessarily. Tsubaki was so happy that her voice was shaking.
よかった。こういうの着ないと浅井くんに恥かかせちゃうもんね。
You don't have to worry about that.
だって浅井くんの私服って高いんでしょ？街で並んで歩いてたら恥ずかしいじゃない？
Now, why would I think that? I tilted my head, trying to read Tsubaki's feelings.
何か変かな？
Not at all. It's very normal.
よかった。最近、ちょっと疲れてるみたいでね。思ったことすぐ言っちゃうことがあるの。変だったら言ってね。
I nodded silently.
ねえ、お姉ちゃん。
The ankle biter was spinning around Tsubaki's knees as usual.
お父さんに遊んでもらいなさい。
だってお父さん引っ越しだもん。
Her father had been packing since morning, apparently.
お姉ちゃんたち、これから出かけるの。
Tsubaki raised her voice.
どこ行くの？僕も行く。
ダメだったら、もう。
Tsubaki violently cast aside her brother's hand. For an instant, Hiroki's expression was shocked to the point of fear.
行こう、浅井くん。
Not even giving her brother a second glance, Tsubaki hastily made for the door. I just followed her. Tsubaki was gasping for air with huge gulps. She didn't exactly seem to be in good condition to be going out.
うっかりこれ着てきちゃった。
She touched the coat that she usually wears with a dissatisfied look. The excitement for her upcoming excursion dashed. I gazed over at Tsubaki. Is it okay for you to be skipping out on packing today? Your dad looks like he's working too hard.
いいんだよ。ここんところ私がずっとやってたし。
Still, I can't believe you're finally moving. I did a lazy... What? You can't believe she's finally moving? Oh, God. I'm just gonna stop myself. I did a lazy stretch and looked at the house's ancient exterior. Haven't you lived here all your life?
だったら、
Uneasy, she answered with a question. Nothing. I was just thinking that you might miss some things about this place.
あるにはあるけど。
Yep, her eyes just grew dull. Her words were unclear, and her line of sight flitted about. Well, her eyes are also unclear, so it wouldn't exactly be that wrong of a reading from me. Her dazed eyes settled on the front lawn. What is it?
よくあそこで花火したなって。秋になるとね、みんなでお芋焼くの。お父さんが張り切っちゃって火事になりそうだったこともあったの。一番下の子がね、初めてハイハイした時、縁側から落っこちちゃってさ、あの時は大騒ぎで。それで。
Her brilliant smile was starting to wither. Hey, Tsubaki. I slowly, gently put my hand on Tsubaki's shoulder. You can make just as many wonderful memories at your new home, you know. I saw the place. It's pretty nice. And it's close to my house, too. Maybe you can invite me to your next family gathering. I never spent much time with my family, and I have to admit that some nights I wish I could have some warm, hearty home cooking.
浅井くん。
Tsubaki brought her hand to her shoulder and placed her fingers atop mine. First the kidnapping, and now the move. Feels like you've had nothing but tragedy recently. I know you've been under an increasing amount of stress each day, but it'll get easier from here on out. Just stay positive and focus on what's ahead of you.
浅井くんにそう言われると、なんか元気出るな。
Redness flowed to Tsubaki's face, almost like she had a fever. Well then, let's go.
待って。
Suddenly, Tsubaki tilted her head.
浅井くんって。ごめん。なんだかね、そういう話し方する時の浅井くんって、ちょっと違うなって思ったの。
You're right. I'm different when I'm at school.
そうじゃなくて、なんだろう。
Unexpectedly, she flashed a smile.
犯人みたいな喋り方だなって思ったの。ごめんね。
I laughed along with her. You think I'm Mao too? Don't go join Usami's ranks now.
はるちゃんに疑われてるの？ひどいな。浅井くんが犯人なわけないのにね。
Whoops. Yeah, Usami really gives me a headache.
気にしたらダメだよ。私は信じてるからね。浅井くんがいなかったら、ひろあきも帰ってこなかったかもしれないんだし。
I didn't do anything all that incredible. Anyway, it's time that we get going.
そうだね。寒いしね。
With matching smiles, we left Tsubaki's home. Are you happy with it?
化粧品なんて初めて買ったよ。
Now you're one step closer to the other girls in our class.
みんなやってるもんね。
Don't get me wrong, I'm not one for heavy makeup either. But I would have at least expected you to cover up the dark circles under your eyes.
ごめんね、そういうの疎くて。
We walked away from the crowd.
あ、ごめん、電話。
Tsubaki's newly bought cell gets a call pretty often.
わかんないよ。
Covering her mouth with her hands and speaking in a low voice, Tsubaki seems very unhappy. What's up?
またうちからお母さんのバッグ知らないかって。そんなの私が知るわけないのに。まったく私がいないと何にもできないんだから。
Are you going home?
まだ平気だよ。
Tsubaki shook her head immediately.
おや、浅井さんじゃないですか？
Ah, you're a sight for sore eyes. Hearing Usami's voice approach from behind, I turned around.
おやおや、椿も一緒ですか？これは。
はるちゃん、どうしたの？
Why am I bumping into you so much? Are you stalking me?
そんないきなり二人して質問してこなくても。自分はバイトの帰りにちょっと駅に寄ってただけです。
The station? Are you going somewhere?
いえいえ、証拠でもないかなと。
Evidence? Sure, this girl sure knows how to pique my interest, whether she knows she's doing it or not.
いえいえ、デート中に話すようなことでもありませんです。はい。
浅井くん、行こう。
Just a minute. Usami, have you figured out who the kidnapper is?
いいえ、全く。
She stated that without changing her expression in the least. Didn't you say you had something to tell me yesterday?
言いましたっけ？
You.
なんか口走りましたね、自分。
I wonder if she's pretending to not remember because Tsubaki is right in front of us. Just come out and say it already. Usami spoke casually, with a perfect poker face.
はい。では言います。あなたが魔王です、浅井さん。
She actually said it. Her words were utterly insane. The right side of my face stiffened.
あなたは前もって駅のコインロッカーの鍵を複製しておいたんです。
What did you say?
あの身代金をめぐる追走劇の中で、駅のコインロッカーに身代金が収められたことがありました。
Right. Wasn't Tsubaki running around the streets of the key? Usami nodded and continued.
あなたは前もって用意しておいたコインロッカーの鍵を使い、ようようと身代金の株券を手に入れたんです。
Stop joking around. Copy the key? Me? When?
あなたは事件当日、仕事があると言って行方をくらましていましたよね。鍵の複製なんて、その辺のお店で30分もあればやってもらえます。
I have no memory of doing that.
いや、盲点を突かれました。トリックそのものは単純ですが、まさか信用していた浅井さんこそが犯人だったなんて。
I could say nothing against that. Even though I'm definitely not the culprit. I couldn't think of anything at the moment to check Usami's logic.
はるちゃん、もういいよ。事件のことはもうはるちゃんには関係ないでしょ。
Looks like Tsubaki is still on my side.
なんか、やだよ、はるちゃん。いろいろ手伝ってくれたのはわかるけど、結局、はるちゃんは何も解決してくれなかったじゃない？
Usami's poker face was still stood strong.
せっかく、こうして嫌なことを忘れようとして遊んでるのに。
Exactly. Let's get out of here. I heard Tsubaki while shaking my head slightly. I'm feeling dizzy. Hey, Usami. I'll forget about what you said just now.
そうっすか。ありがとうございます。では最後に一つだけ。
はるちゃん。
もし私の言ったことに心当たりがあるのなら、すぐに自首してください。警察はすぐに証拠を挙げるでしょう。近場の鍵屋さんを徹底的に洗うでしょうし、駅には監視カメラもあるんです。
Those police you mentioned, have they even made a move yet?
ええ。ですから、残念で仕方がないんです。
And there's nothing to discuss here. I took Tsubaki's hand.
じゃあね、はるちゃん。
Usami nodded slightly and left.
気にしないでね、浅井くん。
Usami hasn't given up yet? Still, as long as the police aren't informed, everything will be fine. What exactly will be fine? I pondered this thought deeply. I'm overthinking things. I just don't want the police to find out about the connections between the Azai Corporation and the Sawa Alliance. I can't possibly be Mao. Actually, that reminds me. I haven't gone to Dr. Akimoto's clinic lately.
どうしたの？大丈夫。私はたとえ浅井くんが魔王でもいいよ。
Why? I mean, if I was, then basically, I basically fucked you and your whole family over here for my own personal benefit. And I've been stringing you along from day one. And you'd be okay with that? That was probably a joke, but I can't bring myself to laugh. I hope you're joking.
さあ、ご飯食べに行こう。
I really hope she's joking. If she is, then well, okay. Then, oh, bad joke, but whatever. But if she's not, then oh my god, I might have an aneurysm. She held out her hand again. Tsubaki is very obedient to me. I should shake all this off and just try to enjoy being with her.
すっごい楽しかった。
You know what? I think I'm gonna go ahead and end things here. I really don't like the trajectory of where everything is going lately with Tsubaki. And I'm not really seeing a whole lot of opportunities here to really try to change things around before she ends up turning into someone that will basically end up destroying what good things she has left in her life. If you know what I mean. All because our little asshole of a protagonist here can't stop to think of anything else but this has nothing to do with me. In a sense, you know? The way things are going, it looks like it's going to just end in tragedy. Unless I'm given an opportunity to do something meaningful to stop it. Right now, I'm not seeing that happening anytime soon, so probably gonna be more heartache to come. At any rate, I hope you guys enjoyed this latest episode of The Devil on G-String. If you did and you want to see more content from me, feel free to subscribe to my channel. I will see you all next time. Take care.